As more information gets revealed about the FBI raiding Mar-A-Largo, more questions arise. President Donald Trump revealed the FBI took 3 of his passports during the August 8 raid, and after public pressure was imposed, those passports were returned. Chris, we've talked about the conflict here being about presidential records and how every president since Nixon has actually fought over presidential records, and so this is not unusual. Seizing of passports, that is unusual.
Yeah, it's a deliberate message from the DOJ and FBI to Trump. It's a really obnoxious move to sort of diminish and ridicule him, and then for them to pretend like they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, it sounded like they did that on accident. Like, oh, it was just part of the stack of boxes that we grabbed.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's nonsense. They're very scrupulous in their search. You know, look, they went outside the 4 corners of what that warrant authorized them to do.
Including Melania's closet.
Right, and eventually there'll be trophy photos will show up. We're going to find out that FBI agents are sitting there, holding up her lingerie or whatever, and those photos will come out eventually. It might be 10 years from now, but they'll be out. The important thing to remember in this case, though, is that Judicial Watch went in the next day and sought to have not just the warrant unsealed, but the underlying affidavit, and that's the key piece of information.
Yes.
That's the special agent from the FBI swearing that he knows that either a crime has occurred or is about to occur, and that they must violate the president's Fourth Amendment rights and go into his home and seize this property. It's an astounding claim to make, but they're under oath doing it. That affidavit needs to be unsealed. I doubt seriously whether the court, the magistrate judge who signed off on the warrant, will do so, because largely this is really the big Democrat operative left, the anti-Trump left, moving against him, and they're not ever going to make any sort of admission or put anything on the record. So they'll deny the public the underlying affidavit, but the hypocrisy of it is they will continue to leak information. So DOJ and FBI won't tell you what the truth is, won't tell you what they swore to a court about, but they'll still make phone calls and whisper to their friends in the media to frame up the president in the most criminal terms they can.
Well, the former Weekly Briefing host, Christina Bob, one of our own, she's now a Trump attorney. She was present for the raid.
She was.
But she was not allowed to actually watch what happened.
Correct. That is correct. And she's been very clear that while there was a certain air of professionalism in how they conducted themselves, there was also sort of a smirking, ha, we gotcha kind of attitude. And the way in which they conducted themselves is really, it's atrocious. And the sad part is the American public is being duped into thinking that they're going to get a fair shake on this. That government attorneys are going to go into a hearing and present evidence in front of another government attorney in a black robe, meaning a judge, and that, oh yeah, we'll give you a fair, even shake on this, and they're not. They're going to keep this affidavit sealed, and in the very next breath, they'll continue to leak and try to criminalize not just the president, but all those persons that support him. That's the real objective. It's to criminalize people that are pro-Trump and to make them look over their shoulder because your house could be raided next. That's the message.
Pure political persecution.
Correct.